Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the recap review for Put a Ring on It. So, the episode starts out with all three couples meeting up with Dr. Nicole, and they're kind of going over their expectations for the week because this is the week where the men are going to be the ones going out on their dates. So, Ashley was just like, look, it is what it is. I hope he has fun. I hope he gets his wish because at one point in time he wanted to be out there and wanted to date before they were gonna get married, and so she's like, well, shoot, I want I want him to have his wish. But he actually says that he is ready to get married now, and now that's not what the case is for her, because it's like when one person is ready the other person isn't, and with good reason. Ashley said that in the past, when they were, actually trying to plan everything, she had a dress and all this stuff, and he kind of folded and he kind of took a couple of steps back, and he was just not really ready. But now that she's not ready, he's kind of like, all right, now I'm ready. Why you ain't ready? And she's just like, look, I need my time to figure out what I want to do because I don't want to get out here and then be looking crazy. So anyway, he said that he pushed her away because he had a fear of failing her. And, now she's on the fence. So, I mean, in all honesty, you kind of can't blame her. So, I'm not understanding why Shay lives for Mike. I don't understand. I'm not understanding. So they were talking, and so she was like, oh my gosh, I would marry him yesterday. I would marry him right now. I would marry him at any time. And the next breath with him speaking is, well, I don't see the point. I'm good on that. And whatever. And I'm just like, y'all are on two completely different pages. Why are y'all even here? I'm not even understanding. And we're going to get into that later on because we finally start to understand a little bit more, even though it has been spoken before. But, I mean, we get just a little bit more added so we could, yeah. I'm not understanding. I'm just not. Mimi's father's health is declining, and it's just too much. So they have already decided that Ulysses is not going to go on the date, and they are just going to support one another, because even though that is her father biologically, he has been a father to him, and that is amazing. Real fathers, real men. So yeah, they're going to be there to support one another, but that's all that's going to happen. There is not going to be a date, and Ashley and Hollywood are at the house, and Hollywood is getting ready for the date. He over here ironing his shirt and everything. And, he seemed like he a little, no hype to go on a date, trying to figure out how it's going to go or whatever. And Hollywood was kind of like, I hope you ain't trying to sabotage my date or whatever. And it was kind of funny because it seemed like she was a little bit jealous, but not really. But yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later on too. But yeah, it's kind of like she was like, oh, okay. But not really. Mimi is at the house on the phone with the doctor. And they're telling her that her decision to have him on the DNR might not be the best decision considering the state that he's in, because he is really, really, really small, and all of that. And because the first episode that came out, when she was just like, no, I don't want them to resuscitate. I want them to resuscitate him or whatever, to try to give him a chance at life. When she said that, I was like, she must not know what that entails. So on this episode, the doctor told her that, we would actually be hurting him and he would be in pain. He would be suffering if we were to do that, because he's so small. They would be breaking his ribs when they're actually performing CPR on him and all of that. So she was actually on three-way with her sister talking to the doctor, and she was like, well, I have a lot that I need to go over and discuss with my sister, so I'll have to call you back and let you know my decision. So they were talking on the phone, And, you know, they had a moment, and it's just really, really tough. I just cannot imagine what she and her sister have been going through, because that's very, very heavy. And I know I would be all the way done myself, because I'm a daddy's girl. So y'all definitely pray for her. I think that things have already, you know, happened, but I'm not sure. But, you know, that's something that somebody still needs prayer for, because he was her all along. He was very, very prominent in her life. So yeah. Ulysses is not taking it well at all either. It's to the point where he's like, look, I gotta go get me a drink. He done left and went outside. And in that moment, she didn't feel that he was supporting her and being there for her. But he is trying. I feel like he's trying to, and he really is. But it's hard for him, because this man is like a father figure to him. So for him to see this happening and there's nothing that he could do to help the situation, it's just a lot. So yeah. So Dr. Nicole came to see Shay and Mike, and they're talking. And to make a long story short, Mike never expressed that he has really, really, really bad trust issues when it comes to her, because of what she's done in the beginning of their relationship, which was she ghosted him. She, you know, still had feelings for her ex when she got with him initially, and then they got back together again, and she ghosted him again. And I'm just like, girl, what was going on? What was making you just leave all the time? I don't understand. So that's why he like has his reservations when it comes to, you know, any kind of real commitment with her. And that's why I'm kind of like, well, you kind of can't blame him for when y'all was on y'all off, instead of being on, found somebody else and he proposed to them and all of that. And now you in your feelings. Like, I can understand why. So, you know, you kind of can't blame him. So yeah, it's just a lot. I'm just tired. I just feel like he should have just been like, you know what? I don't know if I could do this. And, you know, I understand that they knew each other like before they got together and all this other stuff. But I feel like he should have said to her, look, I don't know about all this. This is too much for me. And you've already ghosted me before. And like, he never said anything. He just kept getting back with her. And I'm like, why? Like, I understand love or whatever, but I'm just like, what is it about her that's making you want to continuously just be like, oh, okay, I'm accepting of you come back into my life, even though you seem to always leave, and you literally sit there waiting for her to leave, essentially. So I'm not understanding. But yeah, so now I understand his non-committal, you know, way of thinking. But I'm still not here for him, but I'm just saying. He just has no emotion when it comes to her. And I mean, I get it. But at the same time, just like you set it off just at the thought of knowing that a date was going to happen. So in my mind, that means you should have just went on about your business to begin with. Like, what is we talking about? So anyway, Hollywood went out on his date. His date's name was Brencia. And, you know, he was like, oh, okay. You know, and he was here for what she looked like. He said that she was pretty. She had nice teeth. Body was nice or whatever. Gave her a hug. They talked. She said she was spiritual. He said he likes that. And they got their food. He prayed over the food. She was like, okay, then I like that. Then, out of nowhere, she was like, well, I love intimacy. I love sex. I was just like, that was so random to just say that. What is going on? Why? But anyway, you know, he had to let her know, like, you know, everything that she was complimenting him on, he was just like, look, I mean, I was a work in progress or whatever. I'm different from the person that I was back in the day, because I used to be the dude at the parties going around biting women's booties and all of that. And she seemed shocked to hear that. And I'm like, that is something that guys will do. You know, who are not, you know, who really are not really trying to be committed to somebody like that. So yeah. But she seemed very shocked to hear that. But, you know, he was just trying to let her know that everything that you see right now is a product of me, you know, changing for the better or whatever. So I'm like, okay then, you know, so I can't. I ain't really here for it. He saw the connection a little bit, but I ain't really see it like that. But okay. I just was done when she came out of nowhere talking about she loves sex, and I was just like, okay. And y'all already know he was in the confessional talking about y'all know I love me some sex. And he was like, when she said that made his legs start shaking. I was like, oh my gosh, sir. Okay, so anyway, Mike went out on his date. And he seemed like he was really here for the date. And I was just like, this woman looks pretty much like his current girlfriend. So, okay. Like in the face. The only difference was the hair. I was just like, okay, y'all look pretty much the same. I think the woman who he went on the date with, Riley, I think she's shorter than her. But that was about it. But they seemed to have a great vibe and all of that. And he was here for it. Saw all 32 of the teeth, like he was setting it off. He was here for it. And I was just like, okay. So anyway, but he was doing the most, y'all. She would say something, and then he'll look over, like look around her, like he was looking at butt cheeks from the side while she was sitting down. I was like, oh my God, you're doing the most, but whatever. So anyway, this is the most emotion I've ever seen Mike have. Like he set it off with her, and there's really no emotion when it comes to Shay. And again, we understand why, but still, I don't understand why y'all together. I'm not understanding. Y'all, the communication apparently is trash because I'm not understanding why y'all together. But anyway, so Ashley was on the phone talking to one of her friends when Hollywood was returning from his date with Brencia. And so, you know, he was telling her about it, and he just felt like off rip, let me just go ahead and let her know, you know, I ain't do nothing. You know, I ain't touch her like that. You know, it wasn't no inappropriate touching going on with no kissing and all that. And so she kind of looking like, okay, I don't know why you telling me all that, but all right. But yeah, like I was here. Look, y'all gotta excuse me. Y'all understand the accent? It's the accent for me. He came in the house for some Wazam. I don't know what it is. That Wazam be killing me, man. I be here for it. I was like, yes, Lord, come on, Louisiana. But anyway, now to be serious. She was like, you know, I have to be serious with you and let you know that it saddens me that I can be okay with you going out on dates. And that lets me know that there is something broken within our relationship or broken within myself. And then, you know, it just got to a point where they were going back and forth. And then he was just like, you know, well, you know, I basically was restricting myself, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I guess it ain't going to be no boundaries from here on out. So if somebody want to kiss, you can kiss. Somebody want to hold a hand, you can hold a hand. If you want to hug, like for real hug, you could do that. You know, ain't no boundaries. So I was just like, okay. So anyway, Dr. Nicole went to see Ulysses and Mimi, and there was a really emotional breakdown, and Mimi really broke down when discussing her father, because she's come to the realization that despite her love for her father, she cannot keep him around and just suffering like this. So she's realizing that she's going to have to go on ahead and make that executive decision to remove him from the ventilators and all of that. So yeah, they were talking. He even got emotional, Ulysses. He even got emotional when they were talking about him. And, you know, it's just too much going on. But Dr. Nicole was like, look, you have to realize, if you haven't, that there is a whole lot of support. So that's a great thing. Oh, Lord, y'all. So they ended up reconvening. And, of course, Mimi and Ulysses were not there, which confirmed what I was wondering about when I was looking at the OWN Network's website. Like, before the show even came on, because I was like, okay, where is this other couple at? But anyway, we'll get there. But they reconvened and they went over how the dates and stuff went. Hollywood said that he loves that Brencia is spiritual, she's pretty, and she loves sex. Mike said he enjoyed his date, and you could tell that Shay was not here for his responses and all of that. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh. She is not secure in her relationship. She is not secure in what her position is supposed to be. And whenever they get into arguments or whatever, even if it's the smallest of things, she'll be like, well, are you going to leave me? It's like, girl, what is going on? Y'all don't need to be together. I'm sorry. Y'all just do not need to be together. I cannot. But yeah, he was saying how amazing the energy was when he was on the date with Riley. And she was just like, well, you seem to be a little bit too smitten by this woman. Like, you doing the most. Like, she was so in her feelings that he tried to like kind of put his hand on her and she kept removing it. I was like, oh God, everybody was tired. Everybody was like, oh, okay. So we come down to the moment of truth to see whether or not either one of them are trying to go out on a second date with these ladies. Both of them said no. Hollywood said the reason why he tried to go out on another date with that woman was because essentially the booty was not what it needed to be for him. The booty was not up to, par for him. Because he's a booty man. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, at least you were honest. It's like, everybody was like, really? The reason why ultimately is because of the booty? Oh, okay. Oh, it had me dying. I was like, yes, Lord. At least you are being honest. Okay. And Mike go say he passed. And I'm like, I feel like you only passed it because she said what she said and acting the way she acted, and you know that there are going to be other women that ultimately are going to snap up your attention or whatever. And I'm just like, again, why are y'all together? So yeah, y'all, Hollywood and Ashley got into it. I was like, oh my, it got so intense. Ashley said that she does not feel safe and secure anymore in her relationship when it comes to those things, because it's like, what you not finna do is set her up to have her think that y'all finna get married and then you snatch it away again because of whatever you're feeling, whatever, even if you feel validated and you feel like this is the best decision for you. In her mind, she's like, no, you're not gonna sit up here and get my hopes up again. So that's why she's just like, no, I'm not ready for it. Like, she was crying and everything. I was like, oh my gosh, no. Hollywood went all the way off. He was like, well, I'm ready to get married. But she like, look, you can't tell me when to be ready. You know what I'm saying? I didn't rush you. I couldn't say nothing to you, even though it upset me. Wasn't nothing I could do about that. But now that I'm not ready, now you trying to rush me, and he looking like I'm ready now. I'm ready to now. I was like, oh my God, no. And then, oh my gosh, Hollywood, why did you say you was about that life? He was like, I mean, it is what it is. Cause if you want to go that route, we can go that route. He was like, I'm about that life. I was like, oh my God, Dr. Nicole had to kind of like shut it down, because he was like, look, don't say that, because you bring life to words. Don't do it. I was like, somebody please make it stop. Oh my gosh, y'all. And so, but yeah, a lot was going on. I hope they can get through it, because that's the only couple that I'm really here for. I ain't gonna lie to you. We're gonna see what happens next week, because I think that's when we're going to be introduced to the new couple. There's going to be a new couple on the website. I kept seeing these pictures of these people, and I'm like, I thought it was surrounding 3 couples. It's already 3 couples on here. But of course, since Mimi and Ulysses are not going to be there, because that's what ended up happening. She ended up saying, y'all see that the chairs are empty. They are no longer going to be here to go through the process, because there's too much stuff going on with her father. So they are not going to be in. They're not going to be mentally here. So there's no reason for them to be here. So the new couple was about to come in. We still haven't seen what they look like on the show, even though I've seen what they look like on the website. So we're going to see how it go. I feel like I know the girl, and I'm going to have to look at her again and see if it's who I think it is. She might just look just like this actress that I've watched on a YouTube series. But anyway, I enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much to Hollywood and Ashley for showing me love on my first recap review. Y'all have a good one. Bye.